Hello, Kari. How are you? Wait, I think this is speaking. Let me
Hi,
see. Hello.
good.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. We probably will have a little bit of a spotty connection because I'm here at my in-laws and I'm up in I'm using
Mm-hmm.
their Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So, um,
Don't worry. I'll
for,
tell you if something it's kind of broken or something.
okay.
Okay. Good. Let me just get here your score of the song that we did today. Uh, yeah, that we have to do today, and not that we did.
Yeah,
Sorry. And let's have it here. All right. Yeah, just read your email. Would you like to focus on the second page?
yeah.
All right, let's do that then. We have it right here. Zoom changed all the views and everything, which yeah, that's something really amazing. But it destroyed my workflow of putting very fast all the windows together. Okay, so that goes right in here. Okay, so and how was all this practice of this crazy crab fingering thing that you were doing?
Very slow. I'm still doing that every day, and I'm specifically doing the ones that I had a lot of trouble with, which is steadying them on the hands and then moving them at the simultaneously. I
Mm-hmm.
sometimes just completely take it off and just focus on one finger and
Mm-hmm.
getting that. And so it's pretty grueling work because the the firing of my synapses is not there, so I have to just keep coming back to it
Mm-hmm.
slowly and then just start there, and that just take as long as it needs. So
Yeah.
it's still in the as long as it needs phase.
Yeah, of course. Those things take time, but I mean, for instance, the last video that you posted was really nice. I mean, from outside, you can tell a lot more the progress. So I think you're in the good track with this, really. Yeah, so many nice things, and can tell that some movements that are not how to say that are really controlled. That are not what one would do if you would just let the hand go. And
Right.
it's was very well taken care of actually. So yeah, and the
Great.
phrasing was beautiful indeed. So cool.
That's promising for sure.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, like to be musical, I can give you ideas, but if you don't have it, it's really hard to just pass on something like this. And I think you have a very sensitive part of actually capturing those things, and that's really great because that's just a part that one cannot teach you, to get all this. So really nice. Okay, so shall we start from? You want to play from the beginning, or you want to go straight here to the second part?
let's just get going because this is sort of the beginning, but it has just different elements in it,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
I'm working on those different elements.
Okay. Okay.
But also applying what you marked up in the first part, some of that
Mm-hmm.
dampening, the measure 16 and
Mm-hmm.
and and etc. Trying to keep that
Yeah.
in play as well. It's going to be different. I mean, you started out pianissimo on this one, but you yourself played it a lot more bold on the second page.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for that leading in measure 15 on the first page leading
Yeah.
into measure 16, and so it has a bit of a different feeling, this part, but I'm not there yet. Right now I'm just writing down my right hand and left hands for this
Mm-hmm.
page, and so that's what we're working on today, is just where are my fingers supposed to go, and then I'll work on that going
Mm-hmm.
forward.
Yeah, the dynamics. I mean, there's really not right or wrong. I think is the way that you feel like you can tell the story. And let's say that we have this piano pianissimo pianissimo type of PPP or PPP to mark the dynamics. But in guitar, if we want to create some sort of kind of storytelling effect, sometimes we need to set all these dynamics in proportion to what's coming or what you just told. And then I think it goes a lot also by instinct in a way, or how much you want to pull next time, so that you can, reserve a little bit of dynamic. So
Yeah.
let's say don't be obsessed on what I do or what I don't do or anything, because there is really not right or wrong. I think my goal is that you can play like you, and then I give you all the tools, and then you choose, let's say, and you build
Yeah.
your musical taste to be yourself. I
Yes.
never like my students to be me.
Right.
but
I
but yeah,
understand.
you will see that how to say, dynamics is something that it's very, very interesting. There are other people, though, that is also something to be aware, that just for the sake to make it different, they say piano, they do forte, they see forte, they do piano, and that's a little bit like, okay, I'll just be the funny, boy in the class.
Yeah.
But it just has to have a purpose in a way of what you're doing, a musical
Right.
sense. Otherwise, it's just a little bit odd.
Yeah.
But all
Yeah.
right, yeah, let's get to it. I guess from C 15.
15.
So
Well, I'll just go ahead and go into 16 there,
okay,
right there.
okay.
Yeah. And then we can
Okay.
stop there
Yeah, we can do
for,
the harmonics later.
yeah.
Okay, yes. Well, I'll just write here, of course, the main pass, let's say, that we need to do to clean up is just to make sure you stop this. So you can easily put the thumb here to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just right
And then
there.
put the thumb back down on A. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, if possible, like right there, unless you stop it already. Oops, let me actually tune.
So you want me to stop it after that rest?
Look, no, I would stop it in the next bar. The rest, it kind of works. Well, it kind of no, it's working
Okay,
for
so you
the
want to
middle
do it.
voice. But that already stops when you change position, really. But this, the 6 won't stop unless you stop it.
Do you want me to stop it before on this note right here? So
Generally, I'm more fan of, let's say, to create really legato. I'm more fan of the other kind of damping, which is just to go right after. So we have this. I play, and then I just touch it.
okay.
Sometimes that's just me, but when I do this, I just get too much of, and that is very ugly. And then it creates a little bit more gap between this and this.
Okay.
I feel like control less, but if you feel very natural with it, could also be an option. But let me write here. The best way to create legato is to just touch it slightly later. 6.
Well, I'm touching it when I play, right?
Yeah, that's a decision you need to make if you want to touch it with the side of the thumb or later.
Yeah.
Or later with
Okay, you want to do it later?
let's say that the difference is small, but as you get better and better, the small differences make a big difference. Let's say this kind of legato. So sorry, like this. This is less legato because you stop it for a moment. You see that I stop it and then I play, but there's a bit of a tiny hiccup. But if you do this, there is a much more legato, but you have to be really fast on just reacting with his finger back.
Okay, I sometimes do that. Yeah.
And exactly, yes. And then you stay on that bass.
Okay.
That is a very good way to create legato. This is what we call in, actually we do that also in the melody in 2 strings, when you cannot have a physical legato like this. To create legato in 2 strings, we kind of let them overlap and then we cut them off.
Yes.
And it's like the piano lifting up the pedal.
Okay.
Would be that translation.
Okay.
So that would be the most important part. Then later there's not a problem, because you've got those basses.
Yeah.
And you will just have it right back again here. And a very nice part where you could really try to not mix them up is here.
Yes.
You have this. Sorry. And after you have played the this, you move to the bass.
Have to move yeah, you have to move the bass to cut the A off. Yeah,
yes,
got it.
But also after you play the 6.
Right. Yeah. And then touch it.
Exactly.
Okay.
You have this and
Okay.
And then do you which fingers do you the other 2?
I bar it.
And arpeggio.
And then I go down.
These 2. How do you play them?
One with the thumb. Oh, that's not gonna work.
It can work, yeah. It can work.
I just have to mute it. I just have to mute it with the splash when I.
Well, this bass stays. It's long, so you can leave it longer. This is a inner voice. It's just for you to be aware that if you play with the index, for instance, this one, then the impulse in the music is in here. I only play this one. Like the second is softer.
Yes, I keep them both soft.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's say because it's accompaniment, yes, they are softer in the melody, but they're inner, let's say, inside kind of weights on it. If you use the index, if you use the index, you might need a little bit more power in this and less on the second. If you use use the thumb, actually that's great, because the index is relatively soft, so then it actually helps you to have this Yes, the second one like dying off. Yes, also like this you help a lot more the melody that to stand until here without chopping it in 2.
Okay.
But we will get to this type of elements in a second. We're just kind of doing a rough pass in here.
Yeah.
Okay. Where I would stop the bass, let's say this bass, 6 bass, would be right after we play this. Like that, you have.
Okay.
Like that, you have this very beautiful movement of D, D, E. Even though that the first D is lower, you still have that. Yeah. And then you can connect a very nice kind of hidden melody like that.
Yeah.
But you need to kind of think this. That continues on the E on the next bar, and then on the next F. So for this, you play this chord, and then you stop it. Let me put you have this same idea.
Okay, yeah.
And usually I don't know actually even how I recorded it, but usually when I play that, so when I play I don't think those things when I perform. I always kind of put I feel like the strength, the dissonance is more in here, so I arpeggiate it because it relaxes back here.
Yes.
So if you want, you can just roll
I actually
this.
play it that way too, I
Yeah?
think. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a very good place to do it. Not when it's how to say in rest, but in the dissonant harmony. Okay. And
Okay.
then there's the interesting part in here that we have the ornament. And so we have. Let me see, how did I play the. Yeah. This is a kind of I'll be very honest with the ornaments that Lebet wrote. For me, there were a bit too many. Because, I don't know, maybe he felt it was very romantic or his mom sang it with too many ornaments. I have no idea. But he goes like ta ta many times, which can be nice. I mean, it is nice. But I think some of them, sometimes I take them away just because I feel like this. But in fact, if you wanna do what he wrote, when you have them, you have to arrive a little bit a little bit sooner to the B. Ta ta
Okay. Okay.
It is yes.
Like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It is this very musical way to kind of make it anticipated or delayed. In this case, anticipating it. And all right, and then we'll get to this in a second. And the last one, of course, of the bass thing that we were doing is just a very simple one. The entire bar here. And then, of course, these ones always be careful so they don't mix with what's coming next. So here, stop the fifth.
So that 27 is really difficult to slide down. I don't know if I really do that slide down.
Which one? This.
This.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's actually.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's on the top but not the bottom one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops. I didn't know where I'm going here. Okay. Yeah, so the timing will be really important for me to get with that because I have trouble in measure
22.
22, yeah.
First, if as an advice, just don't practice yet with this ornament or with this slide.
So just practice just where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. Just so because you naturally have a very nice and smooth technique. So I would advise you that for those things, it's better that you just let your hand get used to the right thing, and then it will start get easier for when we add it. But usually all the ornaments, probably you have heard this from other players, always just ignore them when you start a piece, and then you will add them later. Also, because here they're not very difficult time-wise, in like longer, let's say, runs or anything. But sometimes they tend to destroy a little bit your rhythm when you're just starting off a piece. Yes. So maybe park them for a while and then you can put them. Okay.
Now, how do you go down from the C sharp to the A sharp on the bass strings? I have a really bad squeak going from that position to that position in 22.
Um, yeah, that can depend on some things. You mean this movement?
Yes, I hear mostly that squeak when I'm going down and not
Um,
even strings.
oh, that can depend on so many things, really. For instance, some people who have like a much harder skin on the fingertips, you can hear it more.
Hmm.
I don't have like this very, like crazy calluses or anything. No matter how much I play, that could help or the opposite or just do the opposite. Sometimes, let's say here you cannot lift because eventually we want to connect that. So
Yeah,
jumping is not an option. If you
yeah,
like, I don't know if you have something like this around the house, but sometimes using this kind of things, it's called
fast,
fast fret. And
fast. Okay.
basically it's like a little brush. I have this for like over 10 years and it's still going. You just brush it and it gives a little bit of oily type of feeling to the string. And
Oh,
it
you put it on the strings?
yes, you kind of you basically just brush like that. It does protect from corrosion, so like also so it lets the strings live a little longer. Some people hate the oily feeling, some people love it. That
I've never tried it, so
no.
maybe I'll try it.
Well, this is like less than $10, I think, and it just really lasts a lifetime. I tell you that.
I got it a long time ago and I still have it.
I literally got that when I started, and my grandmother gave it to me from her shop. So that was probably
Oh,
10 years ago. So
your grandma has a shop. What is your grandma's shop? What was your grandma's shop?
they sold it when the crisis came, and they were smart to sell it. But they had an instrument shop in Barcelona center.
Oh, they did. And
Yeah.
do they sell more than guitars?
Yeah, they sold mostly like pianos, but also all brass instruments, violins, because my uncle is violinist, cellos. Pianos were their strength, I think, because
Okay.
yeah,
Well, cool.
yeah,
How wonderful.
yeah. I had fun there with these electric drums when they came up, and just
Oh
scaring all the customers away. Like, yeah, let her play, whatever.
yeah.
That was funny times.
That's fun times right
So you
there.
can try that, or the let's say the DIY way that many players do. I don't know if you have seen, but when they are like kind of focusing everything, they just rub their nose, you know, a little bit to have
Oh,
yeah, to fight the
my my
oiliness,
teacher.
or like these on the forehead. That is also some people use it very much also for the nails.
I
So
didn't know that. My well, I'm so glad that Simon posted his latest methods because Simon's my teacher and um he he rubs his nose, but I just thought that was a something that he just does.
no, no, no.
Just-
Many people do it, and yeah. So some people are more obvious than others. If you're like a little bit more, to say, careful, you just look like you're just scratching a little bit your head, and that's it. But some
yeah,
people go there and just dig on the nose.
I also have these. This is for the feet, but this right here is the same thing, and it's for the hands, and it has something where I sometimes take off the calluses, uh, because my calluses build up pretty good.
Uh
So
huh.
my mother-in-law gave that to me, and I use that to kind of soften up my
Yeah.
calluses here.
I think the only, let's say, when it gets really bad is when your hands are dry. That some people really you can see the string the whole day through on the fingertip, when
Yeah,
it's really very dry. If then
yeah,
that is the case, then it could be a lot of squeak. If it's a
yeah.
little bit softer, it's okay.
Mhm.
But then sometimes also the string. Some strings are flatter. They have like flatter silver plate around, and that actually also helps. They are made for recording, but I wouldn't get too obsessed on that. I mean, some
Yeah,
noises are, for the
yeah. I don't want to eliminate all the noises, but I
No,
just
but
noticed
it's
that particular
part
part.
of it is natural. If you would be like all the time, whatever you play, just noise, 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 then it would be like, hey, maybe take care of it. But
Yeah.
for one squeak, is really not a big deal. And okay, so that would be the first pass. Then another thing, let's go to kind of organize here a little bit the ideas. We have different, let's say, type of accompaniments, and we'll go to the melody because it's probably the most intuitive for you here. You remember what we said in here, the weight of the accompaniment, right?
Yes.
Tahi. If you listen lots of impressionistic music, you will also detect many of those things. Here, try to get the same. You have this.
Okay, got it.
It's like the D sharp is a consequence of a A. And in music notation, if you get kind of used to that, if you just write this type of line like this, like this, you will see it, for instance, in piano music a lot. You'll see those lines. Whenever you see a bow like that, you can tell that the phrasing finishes at the end of that bow. So naturally, for a phrase or a melodic construction to finish, unless written by the composer, is never abruptly and aggressive and accentuated. It's always like a nice way of closing it. So if you see it in between two notes, you can tell that this da, da, just the first one has more impulse and the second just follows up. Okay?
Okay.
These are going a little bit into detail, but I know you can take that. And then we have this. Here I always find it very delicate. I think it's, we mentioned it before. You just need to be a little bit more careful how you take this third finger off and put it here.
I know, that's so hard. Yeah.
But try to, don't play the melody. You just play this and then play the accompaniment. This. Because the problem usually is that we take this too soon away. So for practicing that, don't play the A, okay? You play the thumb, and then you play 4, the 2 that goes in the second, here the C sharp, and this. And try to stay with a third on the 5th, right until here. Just you need it there. You see, this is very soft. If I play the accompaniment, I don't know if it comes. So this is very very gentle. So first, you could first kind of do a little bit of this repeat of connecting the same finger, changing string. Yeah, because the movement has to be very precise that you don't pluck it when you leave the string. Yeah. And then you just see it on the next string really easy. Yeah. And as you do that, because it's something that soft, try to always get to, okay, it needs to be really, let's say, relax my hand. That, at least to me, that helps a lot when then playing. Just lean on it a little bit and let the weight of your hand actually do the job for you.
Okay.
Yes, and sometimes you might feel like you kind of transition a little bit. Let me see if I can put the very, very big close-up in here. It's not always literally pulling the finger away from the string. Let me see if you can tell that. But when I have this, I don't release the string. I just kind of go to the next string like just down like this. I'm still touching them. I just let it fall. Yes.
So sometimes I collapse my finger.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what you're telling me to do. You're telling me to just use gravity to.
Yeah, just let it drop, and you don't need even to lose the contact completely. Let me see if you can tell.
I can see
here.
Yeah.
So you don't need to completely go away from the string, but
right,
to have
right,
a bit more like.
Yeah.
Very close.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Yeah. Just find, let's say, what feels when you can get it the most connected. And then put it together with bass, G, C, and then this. And
Okay.
focus on just on these two connections. So now. And even it out with the dynamic. In this kind of pieces that is so simple, so singing, so obvious also, those things are rather important because they make the whole construction behind the melody. Okay, so I'll write here connect. Maybe I'll put this in red so that you know it's a different thing.
And I don't have the time, so I don't know how we're doing.
We're 31 minutes in.
Okay, great.
So practice without melody, like this. Just
Okay.
so that you really get to hear the inside of the music here. Okay.
Okay.
Then this part, I think it's very annoying because it's just a little bit different, but not that much. Really, you have to, push that to the G sharp. You did good, so just make sure that it doesn't go back or anything. That you keep those chords as they are. The 3 can sometimes become an A back again here. It wants to assimilate.
Yeah, let's go. Sorry. So that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, the first time you need to have an A, yeah? And the second string.
So this.
Yeah, the third finger is on the 10th fret. Yeah. Exactly.
Now, what you're seeing is me having a hard time stretching that.
It might help you to try to get the chord more sideways, so less like this and stretch that back, but actually a bit more sideways. To stretch like this is pretty hard, but if we actually stretch that way, we can get more distance sometimes, and depend on the kind of chord, we can use that or not. So I would first, let's say, get those guys here, except the first, and then curl it up. Exactly. Instead, opposing to these. That would be the hard way to do it, and that would be a little bit easier. So you just need to retract your finger.
And then it goes down to the...
Yes. And what I like to use to kind of make a technical mark that it would just bring me to the right notes there all the time, because when you bring that up to tempo, sometimes you forget that there is one time one A and the other G sharp. So I actually exaggerated a little bit this type of motion. So I would have the hand really like this in here and a lot more like that later. So the technical, let's say, feeling here was very much sideways, whereas the other one is a lot more parallel against the fretboard.
So you would transition
the
extreme to the subtle over time?
What you mean?
You would first practice extreme and then move more subtly to position.
Well, actually, no. Here, what I mean is that I use, let's say, the chord shape to help me, let's say, to help the technique just be automated and not get confused, because that's a problem that happens to many in here, that you don't know exactly what you played. A, G, was like before, was like later, I don't know. So to use this movement a little bit overdone, let's say, not that you mess up, but a little bit really more tilted, so that this finger is more contracted, so I can distinguish it fairly easily with this. You see my hand like this,
Oh, I see what you're
and then
saying. I'm
this.
sorry. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So this
Thank you.
is, yeah, this is very aggressive in a way like that, where my finger really pulls back. So these fingers are really diagonal. If you see the frets and the finger direction, they are very much in diagonal. Whereas here, they follow the frets. And that I found it very helpful when you go fast. Because the first time you kind of push, and then you just need to make sure that the first finger goes back, and then the second time it's a little bit more loose, and you just
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just practice these two phases. Those is just my own trick in here. You might also come across with your own way to get to it. But I know it can be like a tricky spot sometimes. So I kind of like to stretch a little and then relax. Also because musically it makes sense to me. This da 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 dee da dee da. So you're kind of losing, let's say, energy by the half of the second, let's say, bow.
I heard that when you played that. Yeah.
Do it. Yes. Here a bit more. It holds it again, and then it's just I. So
Okay.
yeah, I think it connects nicer when you make this a little bit more gentle. And then we continue from 19. This type of things, and now that kind of will link also to the part of the melody that I wanted to talk about. You really have to think in groups in this piece, in really melodic groups. So the first melodic group that I would think, and I'll just go back to the 16 so that this makes sense, would be this. And you practice exactly how you want to sing it. So if you want to, or very, there are so many ways you can do it, really many ways, and you have to find your way. But just practice the elements. The first green is one element. This is another one. So da 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 dee da dee until here, until this connection. It's not over until you get the connection. But really, this part kind of was a little bit too stiff, I would say. You really need to be careful in here. I know that there's a change of position in a slur, but you really need to try to see how powerful is this slur that is not completely, let's say, ugly, and then moderate this accordingly. And generally, as a rule of thumb here, always play softer this last note than you would. Because this is the end. We are already we have it in our ears. It's going to be this because it's our tonal, let's say, sense that we have. And then another thing is that is not so spoken about in guitar music is how you go away from the notes. It's not so spoken about because it's like we have to go away. We don't have how to say control so much over how we cut off the notes so much, because we do have certain control, but not so much as a wind instrument has, right? Because they can blow and they can just blow a little bit harder before they leave and make a very edgy type of finishing of that sound. But we play a note and the note immediately dies. But we do we have control if we have how we go away from here and exactly when. So try to really link this to this so that we don't hear this.
Okay.
Cut. You hear? So maybe I would practice just the rival chord with the B. Imagine that the chord is multiplied right in here, like this. you practice it like this, and then you practice the arrival. This. See that I'm trying to connect here the dynamics from this da-da. And you can sing it if you want. Really connect sound-wise that there is not a break, and dynamically. And then you go and you do the, let's say, the most annoying part, which is having the slur and still keeping this connection. Okay, otherwise it really sounds very, very broken. And it's just the end of this first phrase. And then don't lose perspective in here that this if you were a singer, that would be a very long note. So we really need to. These first notes, they are nothing almost. And because this is an open string, it's usually always far too loud. So that's why the dynamic issue in here, that we need to play this super soft because this note is dying. We cannot blow it harder in the middle. So you need to measure. Let's say we cannot play this extremely loud because then of course it's not
and
sweet.
we're playing that A softer too, so
exactly.
It's gonna be really soft.
More than that's the tricky part on guitar, that you cannot just go soft. You just need to know where to push back up so that you gain this edge back again. So when you have this, I know that I want the people to focus on this note, so I will not give them this. I will not tati pata immediately, but what I will do is, of course, I don't want to, if I start that soft, I will not have basses, I will not have body in the accompaniment. But what I will create is this illusion of, okay, this note is sounding in here, so I want them to focus on this. These three will be softer, so I will do this in dynamic in here.
Okay.
I start actually very soft, and then I open a little bit inside. So it kind of sounds like this. Woo.
Okay.
You see? That actually if I take, it's a little bit of a crescendo.
Okay.
Very gentle, but it is a little bit.
Okay.
Try? Let's see if... if you want, take from the 19. Yes, with this barré.
Okay. I'm getting. Where am I?
You have the, let's say the whole arpeggio from the fifth bass, and then the trebles.
Okay. Okay, good.
With this fingering, with the two right there on the. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, and then it's with this one.
Yes, there we go.
Okay. Okay, I got it now.
Be careful. This first is arpeggio. Is like slurred, yeah. Yes. I know the right hand is confusing. 1 second, let's write it here.
Okay, got it.
You have A, index P, A, and thumb.
And thumb. No.
And don't make a rest stroke there because then you are killing the A.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and more dynamics.
Try, yeah, and if you want, play until the D, because that gives you the direction. Da di bo bi bo bo. Until the D. Da bom. Yes. Exactly. Feel like it's getting heavier and heavier in there. Mostly like from the second A, so from where you are, like right here, it's just, already going like really present. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you will see that you can play it quite aggressive if you want.
I can? Okay.
It depends on how much painful you want to make it later.
Okay.
Because you one can make it a dramatic, like really like strong and loud, or you can keep it piano. I like to somehow here give a little bit more also, because then we'll have all this, this long harmonics thing. So it kind of nicely contrasts then with a more quiet section. And otherwise it feels like, okay, the song is short, but then it's everything very, very piano. And so to have a moment a little bit to unleash there and you can sing it a little bit more here with this kind of rubato, this more passional, right? And just move it a little bit more. But this you will see, just first try it out, and then as you start, this work of connecting the little pieces, then you will find your way. Yes, and now let's say what will be confusing to you is that this is these kind of sections like these, like this, they're very great sections that work for adjustment, to give a little bit of a push to the music or hold back. So we add a lot of agogics in here. Let me see. So in this case, if you are aiming to just go to the next thing, you will be pushing it forward. But be careful that now when you are trying to practice on dynamics, remember what you are practicing, because could be that you have the idea and then you're also practicing the agogics and everything is in the middle. So in your mind, when you're like, okay, just want to make sure that the flow, the cascade of dynamics is good. So just don't rush with the tempo. The tempo is one thing, and then when you say, okay, I've got the feeling and the fingers go there, I know the pattern, I'm not messing up anymore, then you can try to give it a little bit more direction and a little bit more rush. But know very well what you practice at any given time.
Okay.
And
yeah.
so if I were you, I would practice first let's say dynamics, which also in a slow tempo that will help you to put the fingers and get the feel of it. And as you practice, you also get an idea of how you actually would like to sound. And then when you have it much better, then you can put some direction. You could also do the opposite. You could also do the opposite, slow down. There's a million options in this type of music. Okay? So just think about this. Also, this is another connecting part. Okay? Then we get to this part. This is, of course, another green section, another green element. I'll put this here. Practice melodic elements 1 by 1. Legato and expressive.
Okay.
once you have the fingers down in the right place and everything, then just really get to this. A tricky part here is this pull-off. The pull-off sometimes they can be quite of a pain. If you get too much, sounds very ugly. Try to find the right pull-off for this B to the A, so then you still can play this. Yeah, I don't know which fingering do you use here?
I use 3 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
Pulls off.
Yeah, and after, how do you continue? Okay. So how?
1, 2.
But how do you get the D sharp?
Oh, I don't play. The D sharp.
Yes, on the fifth string, or on the fourth, but then you will never get the B.
Okay.
Yes, right there on the sixth fret. You don't need to barré because you can play the B open. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the 2.
Yeah.
I played 4.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. So I play with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Like that?
Yeah. Yeah, I see the idea of fingering. It's I think it's not a bad fingering, but it's a very difficult to what to say. Look, music wise, it's just a drop from this D, da, da. It goes like this, right? From da, da, to here,
Yeah.
right? And then inside, it really just has some kind of musical gesture. It's kind of an ornament. It's not really an ornament, but it could sound like it's just a filling in between one point A and point B. What happens to me with this fingering is that you have this. You put like if somebody just punched you in the stomach when you're speaking.
Right.
It's difficult, but it's possible to arrive from here without punching it. The only problem is that because you stop the D sharp, it sounds very let's say abrupt, the change. For that, right. what I did, a more inclusive fingering, was the best fingering that I tried. Really, I tried many. Was to just come back here with a third. So like this, I could have much more natural. This T-I, and then and then to connect that, you'll just have the fourth here on the second string, which is right there. Yes.
Okay.
You have this. Is everything in position?
Okay.
And you just make sure that you release one by one. 1, 3. When you put the 4, you can relax the 3. Yes, and if you have to do this fingering, then I recommend you that you start with a 3 as well, so you don't need to contract your hand. Yes, so you have this. Yeah. Yes, okay. And as we said before, a way to create legato in 2 strings is to let them overlap a little, so you can just kind of for a moment let them sound together if you want to create a bit more pedal. And then, good news for you, you have this. You can have the open string. So you kind of connect everything with a campanella then. It's very legato.
Yeah.
Instead of this. It's more tia, tia, pa.
Okay.
And so Then what you can do in the, let's say I went the last step for that to connect, because here is the end of this green, so this musical idea. What I didn't want to do is this. Is that.
Yes.
Also because you have heard in this type of very delicate song, any movement also of the player, it is kind of, you hear it in a way. It's the visual also goes with the music. So I, instead of the second finger, I use the third in here, on the fifth, like, and then you get this. You can do very gentle. This. And you have open strings. And once you have played all that, really, you can take this wherever you want. You can here in the fourth note. So what I did is I.
Oh, that's nice because it just goes right there.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Just 1, 2, and then there you are. And watch out with this. This is accompaniment, and that this is very difficult to. This is a kind of a counter melody in here that you have to have. That continues in here, so don't lose that. It's a kind of a starting, you know, like these songs that the keyboard starts with the theme of the song, and then finally the whole band starts. So it's like a little bit the idea. It's anticipated and then here it actually takes off.
Okay.
So yeah, be very precise. This B in here, sorry, this D.
Okay.
Okay. You want to hear ta 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 ta, but you want to have the D filling in, of course.
So it goes.
Yes. So when you have this B, you hold the D right under, because the D is long, eh? Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, and just watch out there the movement. What the trick I did in here is to put, let's say, the first, actually here's second finger, but put the first. Just put the first finger, barré from until the third.
Yeah,
not until the fourth. Do not touch the fourth, because like this, as soon as you take the, how to say, the B with the second, then you can easily continue moving. If you put on the fourth, you will get the C, the A sharp. You can use the second if you want, because you come from the glissando.
So like that.
Yeah. Yes, and you see that the first finger is just one moment staying right there, but just one moment. It's almost nothing. It leans here a little bit. Yes, it's kind of a passing barré. Don't kind of weight it down too hard. Yes.
You don't weight it down too hard. What does that mean?
This one. You just need to hold on these two notes. Yeah.
Okay, so you just hold it. Don't hold it down means hit this and then come down and hit it. Then barré.
Yes, exactly. I kind of roll it. Yes.
Roll it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But
this is soft. This is softer, and this is stronger. Softer.
Yeah, because you have the ta ta, then the slur starts from there. The slur will also help you in that. Ta. Yes.
And then goes down. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
All right. Some good amount of elements in here, but
Yeah.
wait. And this one, da, da, and then all this is one. Da, da, da. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 elements really combining
Okay.
each other.
And how are we doing on time?
It's time.
Okay.
It's right
I
on
have a
time.
question for you. If I can I purchase this recording?
Yeah, yeah, you
And
can.
how do I do that? How do I do that?
From the let's say the member area, when you enter there, there's a menu. You can
Uh-huh.
you see like let's say on your tier as a starter or whichever let's say membership you have, there is the option purchase recording. And
Okay.
then, well, I know now that this lesson, so when you send it to
Yes.
me, I'll just go ahead and edit everything, and I will upload to your own private playlist. And
Okay.
let's say in some hours it will be ready.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I think I'll do that because there's quite a bit of detail work that we did through here,
Yeah.
and I remember about a third of it from memory.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, having the recording is very useful indeed. Indeed.
yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Well, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I'll bring this back again in in 2 weeks, whenever our next one is, and I'll play through either the second page or the first page and
Mhm.
the second page, and then whatever you want to go
Mhm.
through,
All right.
then
All
we
right.
can do that. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. Awesome. Then wish you a nice day
I wish you a
and
nice day.
have fun there.
I will, for sure. Thank you.
Bye bye. Bye.
Goodbye.